Yo, what is going on, everybody? I am back with another Keeping It Real podcast. That'd be crazy if I just like opened up, just the wall came down and it just became like a band and just started like, what's going on? It's the Keeping It Real. And I just had like a theme song. I'll work on that. I'll make a note right now. Set reminder, make music video for podcast intro. In my notes right now. But what is going on, everybody? It is your boy Luke Vaughn, and we're back with another Keeping It Real podcast. Hope everybody's doing good. I was just recording my last podcast, and we had a little bit of technical difficulties. But what are you gonna do? That's what happens when you got all this engineering stuff, and you have no college degree. Oh my God, it's not possible without a degree. Oh my God. But what are you gonna do? What's going on, everyone? Guys, if you guys don't know who I am, I make podcasts about a bunch of different things. I interview people. I am a goofball. I am a clown. But I also try to make you think, and I'm trying to think. I'm trying to become I'm trying to be a good person in life, and that's all you can. That's all you can try sometimes. But we're going to be discussing a lot of things that are probably not really important, but we might as well try to listen and talk about them because people care about them. But what are you going to do? And people click for that stuff. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but people care about Travis Scott and Will Smith and modern politics and stuff like that. So we're going to discuss it. We're going to get into a discussion. But guys, if you guys want to check out my other podcast interviews, my last podcast with my boy Jake Berlaga, it was a great conversation. We talked for like 2.5 hours about life, religion, choices, history, girls. My last podcast before that was with an author. She just wrote a book. You guys can get her book. You guys can check that out. So check out my podcast. Check out the channel. Click the links in my description for podcast clips. You can also check out my Instagram. You can also check out my personal YouTube, Luke Vaughn. And that will be vlogs and videos and working on documentaries and short films and thought-provoking videos. A little bit short-length podcast, but with cool cinematic stuff. So you guys should definitely go check out my vlog account and check out my personal YouTube account at Luke Vaughn. And we're rocking and rolling, because that's all you can do, baby. Because I'm rolling on the river. Drop in the comments who sings that song. Yo, if you're born before 2000, I bet you don't even know. It's like, yeah, bro, it's Tina Turner. It's like, oh, snap, you know. But I got some guests coming on in the future, so stay tuned. You guys are going to like that stuff. We're going to have some cool, deep conversations and have some fun conversations and be goofs, because that's all it is. Life's not that serious. It's kind of serious. You got to take it serious, but it's not like that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be like losing sleep over certain things unless you made the wrong decision and you feel guilty. And that's God coming down and smacking you around a little bit, right? All right, but let's get into Will Smith and his wife and having their awkwardly unorthodox, open, strange, me maybe now judging Will Smith type of relationship. So, dude, it's just so weird. Like, Will Smith, if you look at this guy, he's like the Men in Black. Like, he's like, hey, look at my pen. Pew! And then, like, you know what I'm saying? He's driving the cars. He's got the black suit. Then he's the Fresh Prince, right? So you like know him from the Fresh Prince. Then he's the Pursuit of Happiness. Dude, this guy's he's in so many other movies I can't even think. What's the movie The Hitch, or where he teaches the guy how to talk to girls and how to bag girls? That's a great movie. And then he was in Hancock, where he's a superhero and he shoves that guy's head up his own ass. Or did he shove his head up someone else's ass? That was a great movie, Hancock. But, dude, Will Smith is the A-list celebrity. I would say, like, Will Smith is a different type of celebrity than Leonardo DiCaprio. Because Leonardo DiCaprio makes, like, really serious movies. Even though Will Smith makes some serious movies and Leo makes some fun movies as well. But I just feel like Leo is a bit of a more serious actor. And probably low-key a better actor than Will Smith. But that being said, I think they're both A-list celebrities. Those are the top of the food. Both those guys have not gone on Joe Rogan, and that's how you know they're A-list celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Joe Rogan only has a few A-list celebrities, and they're more like the B-list, A-list. You know what I'm saying? Even though Jamie Foxx is low-key like an A-list celebrity, right? Yo, Jamie Foxx is a real one. I'm just ranting. But so Will Smith has like this weird. Apparently, they have an open relationship, him and Jada Pinkett Smith. And I remember the one thing what happened? It came out like last year. I don't know if it happened last year, but it came out last year that like they brought what's the rapper's name? August Alsina or something like that. And they brought him on vacation because he was piping down Jada Pinkett Smith. He was cracking that open. He was cracking that open and cleaning it out while Will Smith is paying for the fucking vacay. You know what I'm saying? Talk about a cuck, though. Yo, if you really think about it, that's like low-key like the definition of a cuck. Like Will Smith brings some guy on vacation who is kind of a celebrity already to pipe his wife. Oh my God. And like some people are coming out and being like, yo, man, like I know people are judging Will Smith, but realistically, he's just a normal person in a normal relationship issues and shit. And it's like, that's kind of true for some people, but most people are not in these kind of weird relationships. Like if you cheat, you cheat. If you fuck up, you fuck up. But like to have like an awkwardly open relationship and go on vacation with some young rapper that with your kids there too, it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? This guy's supposed to be Men in Black. The Fresh Prince. Losing his wife. It's like, what? And then you go on his YouTube channel, and that's cringy too. And it's like this YouTube original, kind of like YouTube funded, like a Netflix original type of thing. And I guess he's doing a series. I don't know if he's made content before. Like I know he made his Instagram, and it blew up, and it was kind of cringy and weird. And he like jumped out of a helicopter, and he was like the biggest thing. Meanwhile, the instructor that jumped out with you does it thousands of times in his life. So it's really not that big of a deal jumping out of a plane. My friend right now is in the Army, literally jumping out of a plane right now. So shout out to you. Literally, like he's probably in the air right now recording it. But so yeah, and then so he makes this YouTube. If you go to his YouTube, Will Smith, it's a production by the YouTube Originals. And it's like about like losing weight and trying to get into like the best shape of his life, which is cool, which is a dope little story. And it definitely can get some good content out of that. But it's just like weird. It's just cringy. And it's like you watch it and you're just like, this guy's not living in reality. Like this guy doesn't know what like, of course, he works, he makes money, he pays bills. Like I hate when people don't give rich people like credit. Like people act like rich people don't pay for anything. Like it's like, dude, they buy rich things. Like that shit goes a long way. That's a lot of money. Like that car is your house that you haven't paid off yet, and he's paid off that car. So some people don't give rich people the credit that they do when they actually buy stuff. But it's just like, oh, it's just so. But like the real, like the interactions between humans, it's very, like they almost like these A-list celebrities. They think they're better than people. You know, a lot of people get to a position where they think they're better than people. Even like even like people in your neighborhood or in your town, like. They think they're better than other people in the town or something like that. And they hold themselves like that. It's just so weird. Like, you're not better than anyone. Like, what? Like, we're all the same people here. It's just, but I guess when you get that famous, your interactions with humans, like, people are like, oh my God, Will Smith. Oh my God, Will Smith. It's Will fucking Smith. And then it's like, you lose like this sense of like, oh, fucking, it's like, you fucking, you know who I am. I don't even know who you are, and you know everything about me. So it's probably this weird dynamic of being super famous and being a celebrity. But again, at that point, once you're like Will Smith and you become like especially as like a young little white kid from like my generation, it's like, dude, Will Smith's the fucking man, bro. He's like the cool black guy in the fucking movies going around fucking doing stuff. Which is true, though. Which is true. He was the OG black superhero. If you want me to, maybe there was another black superhero. Everyone's giving credit to the Black Panther, but dude, Will Smith in Hancock, he was a bad motherfucker, dude. He was shoving guys' heads up his ass. He would jump over the prison gate and jump back because he was such a badass. Dude, Will Smith. But dude, now he's having like this awkwardly like open relationship and like going on like the like, and his wife is talking about how like. He doesn't like sexually please her and like how it's like, okay. It's weird, dude. It's weird. And it's weird. I think, and are they doing it for clout? Is it one of those like Kardashian family things where it's like everything just has to be drama and unorthodox, and just like it has to be different because it has to hit the headlines, because that's what's gonna sell, and that's what's gonna keep you in the limelight, and that's what's gonna keep you famous. Is this what this is? Because it's starting to feel like it. It's like you watch like it, and he is an actor, right? So you almost can't blame him too much. Like he's good at acting. Like his life is kind of like when he puts on the camera, it's like a perfect, like, yo, I'm Will Smith, man. I just need to feel it. Like, it's just like, oh my God, it's so cringy, bro. It's so cringy. Even the if you watch the Garth Brooks documentary, I think it's on Netflix. I feel like I watched it on Amazon. But comedian Tom Segura always bombs on him and makes fun of him because it's so unauthentic. Is it unauthentic or inauthentic? I don't know, but it's just fake, bro. It's like, yeah, man, it's terrible. It's cringy. But again, it can be cringy. You can make cringy stuff and you can make your documentaries cringy as long as your movies are fire. But don't come out in the world and tell everybody that your wife cheats on you, you bring on vacation the guy. It's such a weird dynamic. And then his wife's basically like bombing on him, like, hey, he can't satisfy me. He doesn't make me. Like, it's like, what is going on? It's like when Tupac calls, I got to go over there and suck him up. No, that's bad. That's bad. Can't say that. But apparently that's how they're coming. What's going on? I don't know. That's just weird. That is some weird stuff. It's like Will Smith is losing the clout. Like he's becoming, like, again, the ultimate cuck. Will Smith is going to be like a cuck meme soon. Oh my! Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I was gonna say there's nothing wrong with being a cuck. I feel like there is. That's the whole point of the cuck. It's a negative connotation. But what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Will Smith? Come on my podcast, bro. That would be awesome. You would change my life. Thank you. But Kyle Rittenhouse. Let's talk about something a little bit serious, because no one actually cares about Will Smith. Like, they fake care. Like, just like The Bachelor and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like, they're not like, who really cares? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Doesn't really matter. Kim Kardashian got robbed in Paris. Doesn't really matter. Like, it's probably an insurance claim. I'm sure it was an inside. Kanye's like, nah, bro, I had to cancel my concert. I'm sure you did. That insurance claim? I'm sure it was. But Kyle Rittenhouse, let's get right into the serious stuff. So Kyle Rittenhouse, it's a weird case. I think it's the Kenosha, Washington, or Wisconsin. Everyone's like, Washington. No, Wisconsin. And basically there was like a protest during the whole George Floyd and the BLM protest this summer. I think it was in August. I believe the date was August 25th or August 20th something. And but this was last year. I believe this was last year. So not this summer, but last. I think I'm correct on that. But it gets crazy, right? Time flies, and also these court cases take so long. So there's the protest. They're out wild, and people are just on the streets yelling at each other. Mostly just it looked like a lot of white people just kind of yelling at each other. And there was so many different camera angles. And the reason I bring it up is because the case and the trial just had the first hearing. I believe it was the first hearing for the trial. And it was very controversial, I guess you could say. The media was talking about it, I guess, in a controversial way. People were viewing it differently now that the defense came out with the defense's statement, opening statement, I guess you could say. And it's interesting. It's really interesting. And it's another case that the media is just really creating their own narrative, creating an own story, running with the story, and will sell it until the story ends. And even when the story's over, even when everything will settle out, they will still stand by their false narrative. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter like if you're Republican, Democrat, like let's at least get the facts, right? Like, was it a self-defense? Let's get all the videos. Let's get everything in the thing. Let's get all the stories. Let's get all the hearings. Let's get all the conversations open. Let's get all the discussion. Let's get all the information out there before we stick a flag in the pole. And whether you're left or right, the media, right? Even dude, both sides, they do their own ways. They just stand on this dying island. It's like blowing in the breeze. Like, I'm not fucking moving. It's like, dude, you're gonna die. You're wrong and you're gonna die. It's like, I don't give a shit. It's like, bro, it's like you're not helping anybody by just suppressing information and then lying about the information that's already out in the ether. It's like, what is going on? So the Kyle Rittenhouse case is really interesting because it's basically like his defense like clipped up all the video, and I mean it basically shaped him out totally different than what the media originally shaped him and the story out to be, which is go figure. I'm surprised that was the case, Luke. I would have never thought that. It's like, I know. I would have never thought. You would have never thought the media that gets paid billions of dollars by these huge corporations to pass their stories and their bullshit stuff, right? Like Anderson Cooper, sponsored. This is Anderson Cooper coming with you with the facts, sponsored by Pfizer. Get the Pfizer vaccine. It's like, what the fuck? Like, the people that are giving us information are sponsored by products. These are services. The drugs are products, right? Like, it's crazy. It is insane. And I guess that is the biggest fault of capitalism. But it's like, yeah, because you can just get $1 billion and buy out politicians. Fuck. I got to figure out an argument for that one, motherfucker. And once I get that, I'm going to come back at you. But it's still better than socialism and communism. But again, we haven't really talked about it. Kyle Rittenhouse. So he's there. They're protesting. There's one guy literally on camera at one point. He's like, yo, shoot me, son. Shoot me. He says the N-word. He's a white guy. Shoot me, motherfucker. He's like, shoot me, boy. And next thing you know, he eventually does end up getting shot and killed. So a little ironic. But they're beefing. They're protesting. So there's a video of Kyle Rittenhouse like kind of walking around. There's a big red flag. So he's a 17-year-old. Technically, 17-year-old carrying a gun. Don't think you can. You can't own a gun until you're 18. And therefore carrying it would be it's probably like his parents' gun or something like that, but I don't know the legal aspect of carrying it in a protest, and especially being underage. I think that's probably one of the biggest red flags, is having it on him at 17 years old. But I don't know. Maybe there's some loophole in that. I don't really know. But then he's kind of apparently there to protect buildings. So I don't know if like a family friend hired him. I don't know if he just went out of his way to like, I'm going to go to a protest and make sure nobody destroys buildings, right? Which is like, I mean, like, it's the same kind of decision as going to a protest. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, low key, like, I know things get crazy and people are passionate. Like, there's some things that I kind of like, if this gets any further, you got to go protest. So I kind of understand why people do go to a protest, but like at the same time, like, get a fucking job and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a job and let's not protest, but let's not protest because you end up getting shot and having to go to jail for it. It's not a good idea. No, but let's continue. Let's conversate. So he's there, and basically, there's video of him shouting out, like, does anybody need medical? Like, he has a medical, he's like a first aid kit, like a small little satchel backpack. And he's literally asking people if they want medical help. He's there providing medical help, not there to fight with people and try to kill people. So that's going to be a big argument that the defense is going to try to run with, which looks kind of good for them in the aspect of he's there with good intent, right? As much as he does have a gun, the gun doesn't really show intent. It would show more intent for self-defense if that happened. But he's there not yelling at people. He's asking people for medical help. There's literally footage of him asking people for medical help and running around and stuff like that. So that's pretty positive. And then it gets to a point where like there's like an interaction with this guy, Rosenbaum, and I believe he's the person who died and got killed. And I believe Kyle Rittenhouse shot 2 people that night. Maybe more people ended up getting shot, but I believe he shot 2 people. I'm playing with my belly button trying to think. Boop, 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 boop. And so the guy Rosenbaum, I think that's his last name, and he's like the guy on camera that's like, shoot me, blah, 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 blah. And he, I guess, gets into a fight, a scuffle with Rittenhouse, whether that's verbally and then physically. And then on camera, we see Rittenhouse running away from Rosenbaum with the gun in hand, but running away, right? So that's again, for the defense of Rosenbaum, or for the defense of Rittenhouse, it looks kind of good because you're retreating from possible danger, or what would the word be where people are arguing? Combatants. I'm trying to think of the word. Confrontation, confrontation. You're trying to avoid the confrontation, so you're literally running away. And now Rosenbaum becomes the pursuer. Right now, he becomes the attacker. Right, he becomes the person that is. It's called, like they would argue, he's closing the gap, right? Like now they're going to make the argument he's going to close the gap and then try to violently attack Rittenhouse. So then Rittenhouse, depending the state, which Wisconsin, I believe, is the state, New Jersey, your boy at the state, we're not a stand your ground state in any way, shape, or form. They don't want you to stand your ground unless your life depends on it, and you would have to prove that. So in his case, even then, he could low-key prove it. Maybe not with the Rosenbaum shooting, but if they have proof that, if they could prove that Rosenbaum tried to take his gun, then he could prove that Rosenbaum would be enough of a threat to take his gun, use it against him, and that would be enough of a reasonable threat to then shoot him and eliminate the threat. If that was the case. But let's keep moving. Let's keep talking. So basically, he's like running away from him, and I guess like he closes the space, closes the gap, and I guess attacks Rittenhouse, and Rittenhouse shoots him, and you see him fall, and he's like basically laying there and dead. And there's a few other people there. There's the main camera guy. I believe there's the main camera guy, and I don't think they used his footage for the shooting, at least in what they released yet, I believe, because he's gonna be one of the main witnesses that goes on stand and goes on the trial. So that's going to be important. And he's the person who performs first aid, I believe. He's the first responder, first aid kind of person for Rosenbaum that got shot and ended up dying. But Rittenhouse is there, and you see him on the phone, and he's telling someone, I just shot someone, and he's there. He still has, you can physically see him. He has his med kit. You got the gun and the hat. It's literally him. You know it's him. You know there's no question at this point. Did Rittenhouse shoot Rosenbaum? He did. Now, was it justifiable, and was it illegal, and what will be the legal ramifications if there are, right? And these are just interesting cases, especially someone that is interested in politics, and I thought the protests were very interesting. I'm not going to say they were good. Definitely I'm not going to say they're good or bad, right? They're very interesting, right? They're very interesting, and you can learn a lot from them, especially human behavior. So I think it's interesting. And also, these cases really shape America. They shape American politics. They shape laws. So it's really interesting. So that being said, where were we? So again, Rittenhouse now is on the phone admitting that he shot Rosenbaum. And I think that the testimony is Rittenhouse is now retreating. He starts running away again. He's leaving the scene now while they're performing, like trying to save this guy's life, the people that were there. And I believe he's trying to turn himself in. I think that's the argument, is he's going to try to turn himself in, right? I guess the police station, or go to a police officer and try to get out of there and go get safety or something like that, right? And then I guess what else you call it? I guess some Antifa type of looking guys. He's like a young little, they literally look like the typical Antifa, little woke liberal progressives. Start like attacking him with like a skateboard and hitting him, because I guess they're like, yo, what did he do? And someone's like, oh, he shot someone, because he's running with the gun and stuff. So like they start like all attacking him and hitting him. Like imagine like a person running, and then like 4 or 5 people like running after him and like punching him, hitting him with a skateboard. And then like he falls. And then one guy like runs and kind of like jumps and like stomps on. Remember, he has his gun. He's like trying to like grab his gun and stuff. He has a big AR. So then the one guy, and this is where he can really get away too, because while he's down, the guy with you could kill someone with a skateboard, right? You could really have this book about deadly force. You could make the argument for sure you can kill someone easy with a skateboard. A truck and wheel right in the fucking neck, or like chop someone right, dude. You could get badly fucked up with a skateboard. 2-3 hits in the head, you could knock someone out once and then go and kill them with a skateboard. So it's definitely possible that the skateboard could be a deadly weapon with blunt force, right? So they try to hit him with the skateboard. It's a terrible hit. I would have nailed him if I was going to hit him with the skateboard. I would have nailed him. This kid was terrible, super unathletic. So it basically misses with the skateboard, and then the one kid who's now on trial and is low key his testimony, I think, kind of helped and coincided with Kyle Rittenhouse. He is the next person on the video, and he basically runs up to Kyle Rittenhouse, and this is as like the skateboard guy missed, the other guy kind of like missed his punch and kick. These Antifa guys don't know how to fight, and these protesters really don't know how to fight, and so then the one guy runs up to him and like, what does he do? He like goes up to him, he gets really close, and he goes like this. But I think he has a Glock in his hand, right? I think he has a Glock in his hand, and then he goes like this. Kyle puts his gun down, like kind of down, like not pointing it at him. Then the guy goes for the gun, and Kyle rips the gun back and shoots him in the fucking bicep, blows off his arm, not completely off, but blows his bicep off. And that's the kid that basically went on the stand and went on trial, and I forget his name. It's like Gooksberg or Gooksy Gooks or something like that. And Michael Gooksy Gooks. And he admitted that he pointed the gun at Kyle Rittenhouse, and then Kyle shot him. And then you see his lawyer going like, "Oh my God, no." So it's really interesting. I just think it's a shame how the media is shaping it out. I think, and it's the majority of the media, right? Like you can find a few news channels, probably some Fox News, that are completely defending Kyle Rittenhouse, and that's not exactly what I'm doing. And it's like, and then you see both these kids, Kyle Rittenhouse and this Gutziberg guy, they both are claiming, "I was scared for my life," right? And this is where it kind of pisses me off, because like, it's like, all right, you go to this crazy protest where you know it's going to get crazy. You bring some crazy energy, right? Like, the odds are, like, you shot someone. Either way, you were getting attacked. You attacked someone, and then you got shot. Like, some people are bringing this crazy energy to these protests. Like, there's some gangsters, and there's savages, and they want to fight for equality. And then when shit gets real, they want to pull the card, "I was scared for my life. I feared for my life. I'm in fear for my life. I'm scared for my life." It's like, well, bro, you know what? You put yourself in that situation. That's what happens at protest. You want to gangbang, you end up dead or in jail. There's really no other way around it, okay? You go to a crazy violent protest, you will fear for your life because shit gets crazy. I don't know why we're like, we need to hold these kids accountable for going to these protests and acting crazy. All of them, dude. Like, these kids I know kids personally that went to Trenton during the protest and destroyed Foot Lockers or whatever it was and stole sneakers. Should be ashamed of themselves, bro. That has nothing to do with George Floyd and injustice and discrimination and social justice. That has nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with racial discrimination or anything like, or financial discrimination or anything like that. It has nothing to do with it. It's pure. It's asinine, and it's selfishness. It's selfishness. It's greed. And it's just like, it's hypocritical, man. It's really hypocritical, and it's not helping nobody, and it's not moving anything in the right direction, and it pisses me off. But what are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? You know what you can do? You can try to cover these cases, try to figure out the facts for yourself, and then come up with a discussion, right? Kyle Rittenhouse used self-defense when he shot those two people. He should have not been at these protests. These protests should have not been this violent. These guns should not be at protests and stuff like this. It's a multifold argument. It's a multifold conversation. It's not black and white. It's gray as fuck. That's really what it is. We really need to have that conversation, that it's gray. It's gray as an MFer. It's gray as an MFer. I sound like an old guy. It's gray as an MFer. These young kids better not be going to protest. And there's certain things you should be protesting for. Like, nobody wanted to protest freaking Jeffrey Epstein and all these politicians fucking raping kids. We turned a blind eye to that. And we turned a blind eye to a lot of things. Young kids getting killed from gang violence, drug violence. We should legalize drugs, end the war on drugs. Young people getting killed over drugs. Young people going to jail over drugs. People going to jail over little amounts of drugs. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. That's another conversation for another day. Lukey the Libertarian coming at you live. I'm kind of like a conservative libertarian. Very liberal, too. It's like, I just, these far rights and these far lefts are just crazy people. It's like, what is going on? And they're the people in power, too, which is crazy. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But Kyle Rittenhouse, I believe he's probably, but they also say that the prosecutors are going to try to, like, they're doing such a bad job that it's basically like they're trying to get a mistrial. And I'll be honest, I'm not legally informed enough to really understand, like, kind of what that means. I don't know what would benefit them to have a mistrial. It sounds like the prosecutors were unprepared compared to the defendants. And again, don't really know too much what that means or how it lays out, but these things are important for lawmakers and bills that pass and people that get elected in office. It's really interesting, and it's just something to think about. Just something to think about. Just something to think about. I was watching the movie Into the Wild. Great movie. I'm about to read the book. Great movie, yo. Great movie. A lot of people were telling me to watch it. What a phenomenal movie. Really, really makes me want to be a freaking... Loki, you ever watch a movie and be like, I want to be a fucking actor. It's like, I want to be the next Tom Cruise. And then you kind of realize like what that entails. And you're like, nah, I probably can't do that. To go to acting school and go, it's like, nah, yeah, probably not going to do that. You got to do plays and all this stuff to learn how to act. And then you got to do all these shitty roles for your whole life, basically, until you get a break. It's like, yeah, probably not going to go down that path. But then you're watching a movie and you're like, yo, this is lit, bro. I wish I could do this. But, yeah, Into the Wild, great movie. It's about this young kid. Spoiler alert. But it's based on truth about this kid, Chris McCandless. And it's like basically lives in the suburbs and he's went to college, he went to high school, went to college, and he's about to go to, parents want him to go to Harvard, go to grad school in Harvard. Very smart kid, rich parents basically. And he's basically just kind of, it sounds like he's just bored in life. Sounds like he's very bored in life. Life is very stagnant. He doesn't like the idea of a 9-to-5, very the romanticized, oh, I don't want a 9-to-5. I want to live in the wilderness and I want to travel the world and be a nomad. And this romantic kind of story. This is kind of Into the Wild. And it's based off this one guy who kind of chased this idea and chased this realm of being. And who's texting me? I text my mom. I'm doing a podcast. She's like, we're ordering sandwiches. I was like, I'm recording a podcast. What are you doing? But so Into the Wild, he basically like quits his job after he graduates. He gets his like little shitty car. He like drives across the country. He basically like sees the whole world. And then like long story short, he spends about a year and a half, traveling out west, going through Colorado, going through Arizona, ending up in Mexico, coming back, working in a farm in like South Dakota or North Dakota or something like that. And he's meeting all these people, being like a nomad, going up to Washington and probably California and stuff like that. And he eventually meets I'm going to actually read the book, so I'm kind of excited for that. But he eventually, like the whole goal is to get to Alaska. He wants to go to Alaska and live off the land in Alaska, right? And me watching this movie, someone that camps a lot, and I kind of do my fair share of hiking and camping and wilderness stuff. And I'm like, if this is based, I was like, no way this kid survives. Like, this kid's going to die. This kid's going to die out here. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, maybe this isn't like and this is when I'm watching the movie. I'm like, I don't know if this is based on truth or anything. Eventually, I found out it was based on truth. I'm like, this kid's, like, this is not possible. He can't just go in Alaska and just like, he has like rice and he has like some cook. He doesn't know how to hunt. He like barely knows how to berries. He doesn't know how to fish, doesn't know how to trap, catch, anything like that. I'm like, this is not real. Like, you can't do this. But again, I kind of was right, and it shows that he starts losing so much weight, and I was like, okay, this is the reality. You would lose so much weight, and like the weird part would be, especially if you don't have any, I mean, in his case, he had like no real like protein or meats or anything or a fat. He just had like carbohydrates. So like first thing. What was the first thing that would go would be your muscle, which is kind of ass. Low-key, your muscle would go, and then your fat would begin to go. But then once your fat's all gone, you have no muscle. So it's actually like kind of like a weird dynamic. That's why nutrition's so weird, especially like survival nutrition. It's actually a little bit different than, trying to become a bodybuilder. Like they fight for the no fat. But when you're in the wilderness, you need fat. Like you need the fat. It's very interesting. Very interesting. But great movie, super romantic. Directed by Sean Penn. Sean Penn the GOAT. Sean Penn the GOAT, the Academy director. Academy director and Oscar winner. But yeah, very, very interesting movie. And you guys should definitely check it out. I think it's on Netflix. Definitely check it out. Also, there's a movie, Captain Fantastic. That movie was great too. That was two similar ideas. People that like live in the wilderness in the middle of nowhere. And like he is it's good actors too. I don't good cast, good role of actors and actresses. And in Captain Fantastic, he actually lives in the wilderness with his children, and I think with his wife. And the main plot of the story is that his wife has depression, and she doesn't really want to live in the wilderness, and that was like the whole idea. And she kills herself, and he has to reconcile the idea that she killed herself, and she always kind of didn't want to live in the wilderness. Her family knew that she didn't want to live in the wilderness, so like her parents like kind of hate the dad and despise the dad, and they think the kids are weirdos because the kids are weirdos. They live in the wilderness. They know how to hunt. They don't know how to communicate to human beings and stuff like that. And it's just so interesting. So then he finds out that the wife kills herself, and they have to go to the funeral with all the parents. Like the goal is to get to the funeral and get her ashes, I think, and spread her ashes. But like the kids like have to leave the wilderness. That's a great movie. That was a great movie. Captain Fantastic. That was a really good one. And let's not talk about movies for the rest of this time because we got to talk about something that's really happening. Something that's really happening. We need to break it down and break it down. And we're talking about Travis Scott. We're talking about the Satanist Travis Scott. No, I saw the conspiracy. We'll get into it all. So Travis Scott had a concert. I believe it's at Houston. And I don't think it was Astro World. It was Astro Fest or something like that. His whole Astro brand is huge right now. Travis Scott is huge. Got the sneakers, got the McDonald's and stuff, doesn't he have the cactus drinks too? Doesn't he have like the cactus alcohol or CBD drinks or something like that? And then he's got, music, everything's popping. Travis Scott is really, and like, I don't know, like his music, I guess after watching, we'll get into it too. I guess after watching like the concerts and all the hype that people like put behind him, I guess you kind of like fall into the hype a little bit. Like I like his music. It's not like I don't listen, like I don't go out of my way and listen to Travis Scott, quite frankly. But that's just me. I kind of listen to I've been listening to a lot of classic rock lately. Last like year and a half, just slamming some classic rock. Like rap just is boring, dude. They just rap about bad things, honestly. I just don't like it. You can't support it, yo. I can't even sing the lyrics out loud, so it's like, why should I even support this stuff? So let's go on. Let's go on. I'd lose my job and get called a racist if I sing rap lyrics out loud. It's like, let's not listen to this stuff. But it's bad for the society, bro. It's like, look, you're being a freaking... I don't even know what I was going to say. I was going to say something bad. You're being a goofball, bro. You're taking away my artistic freedom. So I'm allowed to do what I want. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yo, I hate when the iPhone gets a new update and like everything's different and you're pressing buttons and it's like, nope, this is not how it works. And you're like, no, give me my old phone back. But so Travis Scott, so he had a concert in Houston. I believe it's like 50,000 people, but I think the venue holds a lot of people. So I guess just the production and the planning of the venue just was not planned correctly. I gotta text my mom back. And it was not planned correctly. And what happened? And Travis Scott has to get held accountable because he tells his fans to get rowdy, get lit, all good and well. But then he also tells them to kind of like jump the fences, which is illegal. Break the fences, illegal. Get into seats that are not your seats and start riding, kind of riding. Like can't really do that. Like, that's not what the concert's for. And that's not what the venue and the program is made. Like, it's not built for that. It's built for what they give you. And then when you tell the fans to destroy that stuff and break it down, and then you try to blame the organization like they're not they're not prepared for your fans to break the rules. That's exactly what it is. Like, low-key, I've started thinking about this, and like everyone's trying to blame like like the Houston PD wasn't ready for it. They didn't have enough people there. They didn't have enough employees. It's like, bro, when you're a celebrity that you have 50,000 people show up for your concert, right? A police officer probably can't even post an Instagram photo and have his best friends like it, okay? Like, that's the pull that these celebrities have. So when you say, yeah, man, come to my concert and also break down the barriers, like, we got space for you in the VIP, all the rowdy ones, we see you, we're going to let you get in. That's basically what he said. And he's done it before. He's gotten convicted. I think he gotten convicted of inciting a riot or something like that at Lollapalooza or the reckless endangerment. I think one time he told a fan to jump off the balcony, and his fan's paralyzed now. So like, it's not the best. I remember when Travis Scott first was popping out, and there was a video of him literally jumping into the crowd and fist fighting a fucking guy. And the guy was winning low-key, and then the fans started helping Travis. But like, I don't know, like, you got to but in the same aspect, you kind of go down in history as the best musical live performance artist ever. In a way. I'm not saying he is. I'm not making that argument. But dude, if people are willing to die at your concert, that's a fuck of a PR stunt right there. Not saying that it is, not saying that he will do it. But we know that he's in the Kardashian family, bro. We know what they about. They about that money. Money, 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 money. But you're like, Luke, no. People died. It's going to fuck up his bag. Like, that's not true. You're right. But if he doesn't get held accountable for, it doesn't fuck up anybody's bag. It just goes down in history as the most lit concert ever, low-key. I know there's been other concerts where people died. Soccer stadiums has had deaths like this. This happened. So that's why when I hear the conspiracies, I tend not to believe it, because I know that this is a reality, right? This is a reality. You go out into like a national park and you go hiking in the forest, you can die. There's bears, there's mountain lions, there's huge rocks and cliffs and boulders and mountain and drop-offs. You can die out there, okay? Water, freezing cold, crazy weather. It's not unimaginable to die, especially once you like go and experience some of these things. You're like, oh, I can see someone dying falling off the cliff of a Grand Canyon, trying to get too close or lose their edge or something like that, or someone that's not athletic trying to act athletic at the top of the mountain and then die. Like, that's not far-fetched. It doesn't always have to be like lizard people coming out of the fucking mountains and attacking the hikers and shit. Like, people really are funny, yo. And it's like, as a human, you're like, I kind of want to believe it. But that being said, Travis also is a little sketchy because he does a lot of musicians and artists in general. I'll just use the word artists, whether that's actual painters, authors, writers, photographers, musicians. They're very weird and dark. And some of Travis's paintings and branding, I guess you can say, is like kind of dark, devilish kind of things. But that is like, I don't want to say satanic. I want to say more like occultic, very occultic type of things. But that's the whole like art realm, is like, I'm artistic, I'm occultic, I'm like, I can tap into some sort of creative ether that other people can't tap into, which I tend not always to believe is real. But some people like, and if some people believe it, then it's just as real as if you believe it. Like, it's whatever you believe is reality, I guess. So there is an argument that this was a sacrifice, right? 8 people died, they got squished, and there's one guy, one security guy, which I think has kind of been disproven. Who knows what's been disproven? They said everything about Donald Trump and COVID has been disproven, but now it's all coming out that it's true. So what the fuck does disproven even mean? Does that mean just not even taken into consideration? That's probably what disproven should be changed towards, modern day media. But apparently it's been disproven. that a security guard was jabbed in the neck with a needle and injected with fentanyl and had to take Narcan to help him resuscitate him. Is that true? I don't know. That might be fake news. Probably is fake news. I would go on a limb and say that's fake news. I say it's believable that hundreds and thousands of people squished into each other, and it got to a point where nobody can really move because everyone's keep pushing from the back, and then you kind of like, yo, back up. It's like, yo, I can't back up because this guy's pushing me. And it's like, yo, this guy's pushing me. Yo, this guy's pushing me. And you're just kind of pushing each other, and then you can't breathe, and then people are passing out. People are on drugs. People are drunk. People are excited. People are nervous. People can't breathe. People are out of shape. People are unhealthy maybe. And who knows? I don't know. And a lot of these people actually didn't look unhealthy, but most people are unhealthy. But yeah. But either way, like the stadium and the concert and the venue's not made for 50,000 people to squish into each other and suffocate each other. It's not made for that. It's literally why they died, because it's not made for that. And Travis kind of incited that to happen. So that, like, really, like, they might have a good argument to tell people that it's Travis's fault, and it'll be really interesting, the downfall of Travis Scott, if that were to happen. But either way, I think it's going to be a bit of a downfall, or it's going to be a bit of a drug. Because if you look at some of the videos, I mean, like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but shit looked lit. Like, it looked lit. Like, when he was looking at the, I don't even know that many Travis Scott songs, but he's looking at the ambulance, and he's like looking all concerned, and then like he's waiting, and then he's like, put your middle fingers in the air. He's like, put two hands in the air. He's like, let's go. And then you know what you came here for, and the beat drop, and it's like, yo, that was about to be lit, son. And then like you realize, you're like, ah, shit, I'm watching this video of this guy watching ambulance of people dying, and then he drops the bass of a song. It was lit though. It was like, bam. I don't know that much Travis Scott, but again, interesting. 8 people. I don't know if the 8 people is symbolism. So like, but Travis Scott uses a lot of like occultic artwork where it's like first off, like when you walk into the Astro World, like the Astro Fest, it says Astro World, and you go into the mouth of Astro World, and that has its own occultic meaning. Like basically, like you walk into the mouth of Satan or whatever it is. Very satanic stuff. He uses a lot of like the Pan's Labyrinth thing where you have the hand with the eye in it. But that's like artistic. Like creepy people do that. You know what I'm saying? Like not creepy, but like artistic people like that creepy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like I would love to believe that Travis Scott, the millionaire, is doing a sacrificial ritual for the Kardashians, and Bruce Jenner is gonna turn into a Super Saiyan after fucking this. It's like after all these people die, you see Bruce Jenner just fucking like flying around like a Super Saiyan. It's like, how the fuck did that happen? It's like, I used those people's powers and now I'm a Super Saiyan Jenner. Oh wait, no, Caitlyn now. I'm sorry, Caitlyn. Oh my God, I actually can get banned for that. Fuck, my bad. But that's funny as hell though. What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? Isn't that crazy though? You can get banned technically, low key on certain like if I were to say that like super arrogantly on like Twitter, I don't use Twitter, but Twitter, like they would try to ban you for dead naming, which is like at the same time, like who really gives a fuck? Like I should be able to say whatever I want. If someone can come in my DMs and tell me to go kill myself, like, and then I get banned for telling someone like whatever gender I think they are, like who are you to say that? I don't know. I just don't. It's so interesting. And then England has this new like law where they're trying to pass this law where, and I now see social media they're trying to figure out how to deal with people that are abusing athletes and celebrities online, which is getting bad. But also like if to an extent, like if I want to tell LeBron James like, yo, you should have never shot that ball last night. You're an idiot. You suck at basketball. I mean, like I should be able to use my like. He has 1 billion followers. He's probably not going to see that. Like, really, you have 1 million comments saying go, and then you have one guy like, you dumbass. You should have never shot that ball. I would have made that shit. And LeBron's like, damn son, you out here bullying me, man. That's fucked up. It's like, who really cares, bro? You signed up for this shit, man. You said just pay somebody to control your freaking thing so you don't have to worry about it and get on with your life. I understand the threats and like anyone that's like, yo, I'm gonna come kill you and I'm gonna murder you. Like, of course, that's a violent threat. But saying like, yo, man, you suck at basketball or anything that's worse. Some of them get really mean and fucking terrible. Like, I hope your mom gets COVID and shit. It's like, dude, that's horrible. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? Meanwhile, they're wear a mask, get a vaccine. It's like Joe Rogan says, don't get a vaccine. I hope you die of COVID. It's like, well, what the fuck? Where's your humanity that you were just freaking touting? You freaking gabagoo. Hey, you gabagoo. What are you gonna do? But yeah, Travis Scott. I tend to believe not in the occultic ritual. I don't think so. I don't think it was. I'm gonna say it's not. You could make an argument 9/11 was maybe a sacrificial ritual. That would be a better. That would be a much better argument than Travis Scott, because you have 50,000 people and only 8 people die. Like, it's not like that's not the most successful ritual, right? I feel like that's not the most. Those aren't the best numbers. You're not even touching close to 1%. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, probably not that. I would say probably not that. But it is certainly fun to like chase and follow, right? Like, ooh, is Travis Scott a Satanist? Ooh, let's figure it out. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. And then you're like Scooby-Doo, like trying to figure out, like, Scooby-Doo, where are you? Is Travis Scott a Satanist? Ripping off his face and he turns into a chase, and now he is Caitlyn. Ba 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 da da. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, I can't believe how much plastic surgery Kylie Jenner had. What? You know what? Let's talk about it real quick. I just need to make a moment and just say this for all the young ladies out there, young, old. You look worse off with plastic surgery. And if no one's going to tell you, and if no one's going to be honest with you, right now, right fucking here, on the Keeping It Real podcast, Luke Vaughn is going to tell you, you look better the way you were born, even if you're wrinkly, old, fat, you got droopy eyes, you got thin lips, you have no ass, you have thick lips, you have saggy titties. You are a million times prettier than when you... I've never seen fake tits, so I don't know, actually. Let me take back the tits. Tits, take them off. Give me my tits back. No, but the plastic surgery on the face, you girls look horrible. Like, Kylie Jenner looks good, but in like 5-10 years, she's going to look horrible. She's going to... Because the human body is made for aging. We live and we die. We come and we go. We're not here... Our bodies are not shaped and sculpted to be tweaked, and our skin to be pulled back, tweaked, little Botox shot here. Let's saw down our cheekbones. Let's saw our nose bone, and let's tighten. That, you look ridiculous. You look lip injections. You don't need them. You look beautiful the way you are. Even if you don't, I swear to God, please, I'm so serious. And I'm really going to try to ask guys questions when they come on. Because it's a huge, dude, you go to the Jersey Shore right now, you go to like a Jersey Shore like bar or something like that. Oh, it's just, it's fake tits and lips everywhere. It's like, you guys don't need to do this. You guys are beautiful. Hey, but that just goes to show how insecure people are. Everybody's got their own deep insecurities. You got these beautiful girls getting fake. Is that thunder out there? The hell? But you got these beautiful girls getting fake lips and plastics. It's like, dude, you're a 10. Why? What do you? It's like, these girls are beautiful. Getting like, yeah, I need my lips done and my eyebrow. I just need to get my Botox in my forehead. It's like, what for what? What is that for? I don't understand. And then the lips are funny, dude. Hey, what's going on? Got my fucking lips done. I'm done. I'm done grilling you. God bless you. Guys, do what you want to do. Body autonomy. It's your choice. If you want to get your lips done, get your lips done. But don't tell me to get a fucking vaccine. You know what I'm saying? Hey, gabago. But Will Smith, keep your relationship to yourself. Travis Scott, you're going to get sued. I hope. You got to figure it out. Kyle Rittenhouse, I think you beat the case, bro. But, jeez, man. You guys got to stop going to protest and saying fear for your life. Go into a violent protest, and then you're like, I fear for my life. Well, stop. Okay, Keep It Real podcast. Subscribe, drop a comment, check out links in the description. Check out my Check out my website, link in the description. Check out my Instagram, link in the description. Check out my personal Instagram, link in the description. Check out my personal YouTube, link in the description. Like, comment, subscribe. Podcast available on Apple and Spotify. More guests coming, so stay tuned. We lit. Deuces.